Write it down 1,000 times for a little word that makes me cry. How I feel about it, I can't decide. No, I don't know, so I'll improvise. Is it living in our heart or in our mind? I don't know. So world ready or not, here I go, searching for the answer. And I'm not gonna stop till I find where it lives inside me. How does it come to be? What should it mean to me? Teach me the definition of true love. Teach me the definition of true love. Thank you.
My dear friends, my brothers and sisters of beyond time and space, I, Adamus Saint-Germain, welcome you. I welcome you to a new earth. I welcome you to a new beginning. I welcome you to your own heart space. I welcome you to your body, the body in which you sit. Many things have changed on earth in the last few months, and you have been part of that change. And right now, in these moments that we share together, a new change is about to take place. Or, I should say, the end of change. It brings joy to my heart, it brings a smile to my soul, it brings happiness to myself and all of my colleagues to see you on earth still. Because you see, in these last few days before this recording was created, each and every one of you has been presented during your night travels with an opportunity to leave Earth. It was not me that visited you for this reason, it was Kuthumi. Kuthumi, who spoke during this show earlier on, visited all of you in the last few days, inviting you to choose to either take part of whatever is to come now on this earth or off it, around it, blending with it as an energy being. And I know that there are some of you right now out there thinking that they have no memory of this. Probably all of you think that you have no memory of this, and maybe there are even some out there who think, damn it, I should have made another choice. I should have chosen this opportunity to leave and actually step out of the body, step out of the limitations of the flesh. But let me tell you this, dear friends, your bodies are ending their cycle of change. What does this mean? There are many cycles, in fact, that are ending, and not just the body cycle is ending. The earth is moving into a different paradigm. The cosmos is moving into a different paradigm. Your soul, your heart space, even your mind is moving into a different paradigm. And what does this mean? Before we go on, I would like to take this opportunity to talk about the very concept of paradigm itself. Because this is a word that you have heard often, the word paradigm. Paradigm, paradigm, paradigm. You use it so very often, you throw it onto each other as you try to explain all these changes that are happening on Earth. And many of you out there are the messengers and the teachers. And so often you will have clients come to you, or friends come to you, or even colleagues come to you, or even the lady at the grocery store come to you, and she will talk, or they will talk about changes in their body, that they're not feeling very well, that pressure is in their heads, or headaches are abundant, or muscle aches, and you say to yourself and to all of these other people, it's all part of the great shift. It's all part of the great paradigm. But what is this word paradigm truly? A paradigm is a set of definition that you call a reality. A paradigm is a very simple concept of parameters in which you live your lives. A paradigm is a coming together of time and space, and you and all others around you within that time and space. However, the paradigm is shifting, and you have felt this shift. You have been part of this shift. So very often, in the last few years, we have talked to you about shifts taking place within your body, shifts taking place within nature itself, within the very hologram you call life. And now, a final shift is upon us. And this makes me very happy indeed. I look through the lens of this camera right now, and I see your energy. I see all of your energies. I can see your past aspects. I can see your future aspects. I can see you right now, in this moment. Very differently so than how you see yourself. If you were to stand up right now and look into the mirror, you would see an aspect of you that actually already no longer exists. If you were to stand up right now and look into the mirror, you would see a version of yourself that you identify with. And we are, in the coming hour together, going to do an exercise which will allow you to unidentify with that which you call you. Let me tell you why this is very important right now. The hologram you call reality has been undergoing tremendous shifts, as you know. But these shifts have not led to any other place than what is right here, right now, in this timeline. You are sitting at the beginning of a completely new timeline. And all of these things that have happened in the last few years since you became aware of who you truly were, and since you became aware of the spiritual path that you were on, have led to this moment. What you have witnessed in the last few years on Earth is the coming undone, the undoing of time and space as you know it. What you have witnessed is the deletion of many aspects that are part of you, many aspects that you have been waiting to delete. I know that I have been saying for a very long time throughout different bodies in which I sit and speak to you that aspects have been coming back to you, and this is true. But after they were remarried to your energy field, as it were, they have left you once again. Or at least their shell has. You need to know that as time and space became undone in these last few years, that you have been going through what you could call a death process. And many around you have witnessed this. Many around you have seen you wither away, have seen you move away from the spaces that you used to inhabit, the workplaces that you used to share with many others, the family spaces, etc., etc., etc. And I'll tell you right now, if you are one that were to tell yourself that this wasn't so, that you are still within the same space that you always have been in, then please know that this is not true. Not from my perspective at least. You are in a completely different space than you were in before. Only you have been recreating the same type of energy around you. Again, in the exercise that we will do in a very short while, you will be given the opportunity to undefine yourself and to undefine the energy that you have been creating for a very long time. The only reason why you have been creating this energy day in, day out, very simply is because you didn't know what to do with it. And we are sitting in a very important moment right here, right now, because I'll tell you this. When this being called Ish will start to speak through this body and through other bodies as well in the coming months, I will once again become a student together with you, together with Kuthumi, and together with some of those, such as Tobias, my dear old friend, and many others who have chosen to return to planet Earth. Our job, basically, as we have expressed it to you in the last few years, is over. And in preparing for that, I have begun setting up in the last few of your linear months a lineage of what in the past used to be called mystery schools. These mystery schools will allow you to move through the biggest of changes that is happening right now. Let's begin at the beginning. When I started this message, I told you about your body. I told you that the changes in your body were about to cease. Your body has, in the last few years, completely undefined itself, I said. And now, the biggest of all tasks, dear pioneers, dear friends, is at hand. In the coming weeks, we are going to take you through a process where you, once again, completely take control of your body. Where you, once again, take control. Not the word that was used in an old paradigm, however, but control of everything that you are. You see, these aspects have returned to you, and as they did, they connected themselves each and every time to what you would call a strand of DNA. Now these strands of DNA, and you know that you have 144 of them in total, not counting the substrands, basically, are about to be reawakened fully, which will allow you to connect to the space around you in a very different way than before. I am not talking about cool internal gadgets that you are going to wake up within yourself. I'm not going to talk about telekinesis or telepathy or any of these things. But I am talking about pure and complete energy control. And this is what you will need as you move into the realm of life force versus energy force. My dear pioneers, my dear friends, my brothers and my sisters, the bodies that you have created for yourselves as you moved into the paradigm of Earth are no longer. You still perceive them in the same way, but they are no longer. Time and space, as I have already said, have now completely become undone, and everything is waiting for you, for those like you, to start weaving the tapestry of life once again. this is indeed a magical time. Weaving the tapestry of life. This means that that which you have called linearity, as you know, no longer functions in the same way. You have moved out of linear time and are moving into cosmic time. In fact, this message is being recorded on October 14th, 2008, and let this be a milestone. Let this date be known, and as you will look it up in your calendars and in your research facilities, let this date be known as the reconnection of Earth and the cosmos and your body. What does this mean? And what can you do with this? How does this work fully? And how can you actually spread it out towards others around you? Let me tell you about that. You have been used to living life within a signature of time and space defined as one. Actually, the coming together of time and space as one is what you have called reality. It's what you have called matter. There are beings who are here presently in this very moment who have shared this information with you, and they will continue to do so. Their names are Zebulon and Ziona, among others. But as they will give you the theory, and I will become, together with others, a student of them as well, I am here to translate this to you in practical ways. So, time and space, as it has become undone of matter, basically means that what you have been going through in the last few years, simply put, is your cells undefining themselves. And actually, I will even dare to say, expanding. The cells of your body are and have been expanding to take up more space and actually a larger cycle of time than was originally planned. Now, all of this is also happening to the world around you, and especially the new ones who are moving into Earth right now, and many more to come after this, will choose to have more expanded signatures on a cellular level. You, however, had to go through this while remaining on Earth. Those few of you who have actually chosen to leave are now assisting many of those who are moving into the field of Earth to come in with a more expanded signature of themselves. You, who are going to be in contact with many of those on Earth who have not yet gone through this process, are also going to start assisting. I know this must sound very confusing for many of you. I understand that I am not speaking in my usual fashion, and especially not about the topics I usually touch upon. But then again, we are sitting in a completely new paradigm of time and space. Whereas everything in the last few years has come undone. Right now, you are seeing the very early stages of reconnections happen. Reconnections through biology, but especially on an energy level. Let us look at one cell of your body. Doesn't matter where. You can choose to focus on one as my words continue. We are not going to do the exercise right away, but I'm just inviting you to look at one of your cells. Now, these cells were so small that one of them could not be seen by the human eye. This is because the human eye was focusing on a larger world of matter than will very soon be available to the human eye. Because if the human eye were to be able to focus on that small a size, the human eye would actually be able to breach the walls of dimension. This is about to happen. But for now, focus your inner sight on one of your cells. Now, if you look at one of these cells, you see, obviously, that they occupy a very small field of space. And this occupation of space basically is created through the two layers of your DNA, of your biological DNA. If some of you who are actually closing their eyes right now might see that this occupation of space occurs through coding. Everything in nature was coded. And all of these codes together showed a particle of energy becoming matter where it needed to be at any given moment. And so everything around you was basically in a dance with you. However, this dance was a linear dance. We are now moving into a cosmic dance. And this cosmic dance has nothing to do with space, but everything to do with time. Very confusing words maybe again, but what I am trying to tell you is that the time of life and death on this planet Earth is over. You are moving into cosmic time. Looking back at your cells, we have now looked at space. Let's look at time. Time within the old energy of your cells, very simply put, was a circle. And each cell, much like a timer on your kitchen, on your kitchen clocks and everything else, were like a timer with a beginning and an end. And as life began, you as an energy force turned that timer on. And after your birth, you didn't have much else to do but to follow that path to the end of the timer of your cells. But as your cells have become expanded energy and are moving into expressive energy, you will begin to notice how this circle is now moving into a spiral. And many beings that have been working on what you call the other side of the veil directly with you, not guides, doctors, if you will, is the closest term you could come to. Pleiadian doctors have been working on adapting the cellular frequency of your body. So each and every particle, each and every cell, each atom, each subatomic particle, and this goes all the way down into the range of the photonic, have basically been adapted as to fit the cosmic spiral of time. I know I cannot project onto this screen right now the typical cosmic spiral I am talking about, but I will ask Yeshua afterwards, when this little lecture of mine is over, to show you, to draw, if you will, what this cosmic spiral look like. Because when you see a spiral, you obviously think of a three-dimensional version of it. But I am talking about a cosmic spiral which moves in on itself once again and basically is infinite. Now, through various channels in the last few weeks, I have been talking about a huge surprise that was actually moving into planet Earth, and it was difficult for me to share this before, but since what we have been preparing has actually worked, I can share it with you now. if you will, if you so choose, there is no more life and death. There is no more moving out of the earth. And the effects of that have been observed by those around you, and maybe even you who had eyes to look. Maybe you have noticed how things around you have not shifted in the ways you would have expected them to shift. Maybe some of those around you who were diseased or sick in any way or decrepit in any way might have taken a turn for the better and might have all of a sudden revived. If this is so, then chances are very big that that process has caught on within them as well. The big difference between linear time that we used to sat in together or cosmic time that, if you so choose, you can sit in right now is, and I'm going to drink, is that the cellular membranes are now immediately tapping into energy that is coming from beyond the tachyonic barrier. And I'm not going to explain the theoretical process, how this works, because this is going to be one of many things that the being or group consciousness or angelic architect called Ish is going to talk about at the end of this recorded show. Eyes on Earth is a name that has not been chosen so randomly, but it has been chosen very specifically because this is exactly what is happening in the cosmos right now. Cosmic time actually means that energy is no longer moving around you, but is actually completely focused on you. And as of October 14th, this is the case for the body that you call Earth as well. You see, this whole cosmic setup, this whole game, this whole creation was not meant to go on indefinitely, at least originally it was not. But then you came along, the human race, and you have more power than you think. You chose to bring God here, that which you call God, and bring it here, bring him, her here. You did. You moved it into every particle, into every cell, into every vibration, and into every frequency, and now here it sits. And you are going to have to become used to that, because it sits within you. It sits outside of you. It sits all around you, and you sit all around it. Cosmic time means that everything is focused on you and on the body of Earth, as I have already said. And this quite literally means that from today onward, in what you still appear to have as linear time, all motion in the cosmos is now relative to Earth. All motion in the cosmos is now feeding and focusing its energy toward Earth. It's very interesting if you look at your science. Your science started out, when it wasn't science at all, by saying that Earth was the center of all things. And as many of your scientists were beheaded throughout history because of the simple fact that they dared to claim that Earth was not the center of all things at all, and that the sun was the center of all things, many changes started occurring in the way you perceive the world. And then greater science came along. More science came along. Science had actually said that the sun even moved around the greater sun, around the greater star, and that that greater star even moved around the greater star, etc. And so you had the vision of your universe. And this universe was moving around its own gravitational field together with a lot of other universes. And so you created a vision of a cosmos within what has now been explained to you as a quantum dimension. This quantum dimension, my fellow pioneers, is reaching a state of sovereignty. And I shall not go deeper into that. This shall be discussed very shortly by the being called Ish. But as this quantum dimension reached its state of sovereignty, you have to understand that you are a reflection of that quantum dimension. And so you are reaching a state of sovereignty. Simply put, this quantum dimension that you call the cosmos has reached a state of infinity and will be here now indefinitely, without a beginning or an end. And so will you. I know I am making a very bold statement right now. I know that the channel in which I sit internally is sweating right now, because he believes my words to be quite fantastic, and maybe so will you. He cannot really place my words, and maybe so can't you. It might be difficult to understand this concept I am talking about right now, but I invite you to go into your heart. I invite you to go very deep within, because there is a key there that has always been there, has been there since the beginning of time. That key, however, has now been turned so that, quite literally, if you choose to create it that way, there is no beginning of time. And the concept of time has changed drastically. Quite literally so, the experience that you can have right here on Earth right now is very similar to the experience that we have when we are not body-bound. This is why so many of us are choosing to return to Earth. Tobias, in a couple of years, Kuthumi, in a few years after that, myself, and so many others are choosing to return to this focal point of energy that you call Earth, so that another quantum dimension might be created after this one, which you will be responsible for. You have, quite literally, become the creators. And now I hear your questions. Dear Adamus, does this mean that nobody on Earth from this point forward shall die? It could. However, it is my belief that there will be those who still believe that they need to be on the other side, that they need to leave from this place, and that they need to follow the programming that was originally set up. And so they will. But if you are one that truly believes your place is here, on Earth, as a creator, this linear process that you call time can now come to an end. And you can quite literally move into cosmic time. Because that is very simply what you are. You are a cosmic being. You are God also. We have said it all along, and I will state it again. You are God also. So understanding this means that including myself, all of us, need to be taught again about Earth. Need to be taught about what we can do here, how this whole beautiful pearl truly works. And it doesn't work in the way that humanity think it does. It doesn't work in the same way than all of these systems that have been set up, these systems called politics and economy and biology even, energy. It doesn't work in these ways. Just the other day, I have spoken through that being that you know as Cauldra, connected to Crimson Circle, and I have said that 4 years of major change would be coming up. Those 4 years have now begun, and you are sitting in them, and you are still here. Doesn't feel very different right now, but as here and there in the coming 4 to 12 months, actually, you will start to begin actually seeing these changes. You will understand what was said back then. And you will understand that it will take up to 4 years for all signature cell definitions on a cellular level on planet Earth to take on this cosmic time. Now this means that things might become very unstable for a couple of years, as there will be those like you who already refer to this new signature, and there will be others and environments around you that will actually refer to the linear signature. And this will cause conflict. This will actually cause a field of friction or tension that will catapult you away from those locations. This is why last time through Cauldra I have said you never need to worry about finding food or shelter or anything throughout these times of great change. Very simply because you will be catapulted away from these situations as you are now responding to a different type of program. Please bear with me, as after this another being shall speak, a being known as Ish, as you already know by now, that will be able to allow you to see greater vision, to see the bigger picture here. But I, from a very human perspective, am trying to explain to you that as these pockets of cosmic time, which will be focused around you, will be created, you will not be able to actually step into a zone of linearity or limited existence or anything like that. A question that was asked to me right before I came in, and it was actually asked by Kuthumi, is this: how does one respond to the news on Earth that one has become an angel? How can one truly understand this? And as I moved into this body and prepared this question today, it was very difficult for me to find an answer, and actually I have not up to this point. But I do know this: when you choose to get up after this message and look into the mirror after we do our exercise near the end of this message, you can see what it means to actually be an angel. You can see what it means to create your life anew and to even create a new paradigm for life. The way it has always been, from my end of things, if you will, is that I was in a type of motion. There was no motion at all. But in the motion that I chose as Adamus Saint-Germain together with all of these others. We created waves of motion, particles moving, energy moving, that you would call linear space. And that is the space that you have always been sitting in. And so, as you could look upon what you call heaven as a simple watch that went round and round and round, and everything else around it changes, this here always stayed the same. You have become that center. If you so choose, for you, on earth, there is infinity available to you. And while I'm saying this, my dear friends, I believe I have come up with an answer to Kuthumi's question. How does one respond to understanding and acknowledging that one has once again returned to an angelic state? Very simple. By creating beauty. By creating joy. There is a reason why drama was so prevalent on this planet. It was because you had a very limited time here. And in that limited time, you wanted to experience things. And in those limited experiences, you often bumped into each other. And then you were gone, and came back, and did it all over again, however, not remembering that you had been here before. Now, as you are no longer moving out of this space, and will find yourselves here all the time, you will begin to see that you actually and truly, and maybe for the very first time, want to create a home here. A home, dear friends. A home that is what you have created. That what we have created together. A home. Do you truly understand what this means? And can you see why in the coming years of change you need not be afraid? Let's use a metaphor. Somewhere down the street there is this old house. And you have looked at this house and you have loved this house for so very long. You have seen it and it has fascinated you. And you saw people coming and going in this house, but you never quite could grasp what was going on there. And now you have made the decision to move into that old house and actually make it into a home. And as you make it into a home, walls need to be teared down. Maybe even the ceiling needs to be ripped out and new ceilings and need to be put in, and the floors need to be redone, and the kitchen needs to be made bigger. But it is a home, and it is a choice that you have made. So look upon these coming years as that process of completely redoing that home, completely taking all the walls apart and taking the ceiling apart and taking all of those things apart and rebuilding it from a perspective of beauty. I will tell you this: if you choose to do it that way, if you choose to recreate this earth from the perspective of beauty, no harm or danger will come to you in these changes. And so you can teach others that this is the case also. I have said through other bodies that that energy that you have called power is moving away. And it is being replaced by the energy of passion. Passion does include beauty. Passion does include love. Passion includes joy, it includes freedom, and it is abundantly present within your lives. Now, if you are not one of those that has already turned this message off right now because you think it is too weird, and that you could not listen to it, and that this wasn't for you, I choose to do an exercise with you. An exercise in undefining yourself. An exercise in recreating this house that we have been speaking of. So, let us move into this. Let us move from that which you have come to know as expansive energy into expressive energy, into an energy of beauty, an energy of bliss, angelic energy. Let us reclaim the role of angels on this earth. Humanity becoming angelity. That is what this is about. Angels are nothing else than those who are whole, than those who are total, those who are sovereign and connected on levels that you as humanity had no prior concept of. But in this new paradigm, you do. Let's begin by taking a deep breath. And as you continue breathing, start focusing on the Akene, that space which is behind the thymus of your chest, because these are the cells that have begun that transformational process we were talking about today. Let's focus on the Akene. With every breath that you take, let the energy of expansion and expression move into your body and move through your body, touching upon that thymus. And then it being released yet again. Every time you do this, every time you take such a breath, one simple cell lights up. And the light that is right here in the center of your chest grows bigger. You don't have to see this as a white light or a golden light. You will notice, however, that every single cell has a different vibration, a different color, a different frequency, a different sound. This unto itself is unique, because your body used to be made up of cells that were of the same vibration and only different in frequency. What we are creating here is a body that embraces all vibration and all frequency, and as such embraces all 144 strands of DNA. So let's take another breath, moving beyond the thymus and back out again. And as you did, so another cell just lit up, another color. Let's take another breath, and another color lights up. Now you are going to notice how quickly the mind, this beautiful friend of yours, will run out of color, because you have been used to a limited palette on this earth. But as you keep breathing and new colors continue to be added to your thymus, I invite you to move beyond the mind into Ish and allow other colors to move into your field of experience. Do not give them a name. Allow these colors with every breath to be nameless. See their beauty. Enjoy their beauty. Let's take some more breaths together. Another color is added, and another, and another. And as I continue talking to you, I invite you to keep on breathing and adding these colors. You will notice that when this exercise will be over, you will have taken 144 breaths, 144 colors will have moved into your thymus. Let this process continue naturally, gradually, most beautifully so. And allow yourself to be amazed by these colors that are forming around and inside of your thymus. You're just going to focus on the first 144 cells of your body. Now you must know that your body holds billions and billions of cells. So this is an exercise that you are going to want to continue for several days, as you walk around, as you fall asleep, as you wake up in the morning, as you go about your day. We are going to continuously cycle these 144 colors. And every time a little group of cells will reconnect to the 144 strands of DNA. Only 2 of those are matter. 142 of those are quite simply made up of light. So knowing this, you are returning to what is known as Lemurian bodies, which were solid in a way. Only 2 out of 144 cells, however, were truly made up of matter, and the remaining 142 truly were holographic projections of light appearing to be matter. While I am speaking, for the very first time, you are reconnecting to your Lemurian aspect. Never before have you truly done this. You might have played with it. You might have invited it into your reality. But never before have you truly allowed a total and complete blend of yourself with that Lemurian aspect of you. While you do this, while you keep breathing your breaths, keep allowing more colors into your thymus, you might hear singing, or what appears to be singing, or music. This is, very simply so, the angelic language, which was the Lemurian language of frequency returning to you. If you are feeling stingy, like this body that I'm sitting in is right now, in the area of your thymus, do not worry. Keep breathing, keep adding the colors. The stingy feeling or any other type of sensation right there, simply put, is the movement from a body made up of matter into a body made up of mostly light. Alright? And this is exactly the reason why we only take 144 cells in one sitting of this exercise, so that the body can remain functioning here in the vibrations of Earth as it is right now, rather than undergoing the total ascension process. If your mind, while you keep breathing, is trying to tell you that this, however, is desirable, that you might want to go into this total ascension process, I, Adamus Saint-Germain, am here to anchor you, whether you like it or not, upon your own request, because believe me, once you would arrive into that ascended state, you would be very frustrated with yourself, because no longer would you have the opportunity to continue the choice that you have made together with Kuthumi only a couple of nights ago. Keep breathing. are going to take 4 more breaths together. Let's take the first breath. Breathe it into your thymus and feel the body aspect of your Lemurian self reconnecting to you as you bring in another particle of light behind your thymus. With your second breath, feel the mind particle of your Lemurian self, the sacred, divine mind particle, reconnecting in another light color. With your third breath, feel the spirit particle of your Lemurian self reconnecting to you as another color comes in. And in your fourth breath, feel the Ish particle of your Lemurian self reconnecting to you. As for now, a final color comes in. Observe what happens behind your thymus. Observe how a group of 144 cells in the center of your chest is now made up of mostly light. Only 2 out of those 144 cells are made up of matter. And feel the light dimming down now as those 142 photonic cells made up of light, take on the illusion of matter. Slowly come out of it and slowly come back into this moment. Those 144 cells have now been undefined, yet they are taking on the definition as is accepted throughout most of your body. So they appear as matter. Now when today's Eyes on Earth is complete and you find for yourself a moment, go back to your thymus. Allow your thymus to take on these 144 colors. Once again, you don't have to start breathing through that again. They will immediately respond to you. And you do it in the right setting. And from that little dot of 144 cells in your body, start doing the same exercise again. Breathing 144 times again. And allowing these particles to actually become a very small spiral, as 144 will move around that little pocket that has already been created. All right, my fellow pioneers? And when you have done this a couple of times, you will notice how easy it becomes to do this 144 cycle throughout your day. And before you know it, you will even begin doing it throughout your night. I would like to title this message, Dressing Up to the Nines. Or, if you will, Getting to center stage. Because that is quite literally what you are doing. You are allowing your body to dress itself up to the nines. Once again, as your cells are quite literally moving beyond vibration. Welcome into an existence of cosmic time. Practice yourself to move beyond disbelief. Because of course, the mind cannot accept this. Of course, the way you have been trained in your past, this head of yours and this brain of yours cannot accept this. But as you move on through this exercise, and you actually allow the brain itself to be made up of these particles that in the reconnection to your Lemurian self have been created now, the mind will move into a very special position of sovereignty, where what you choose no longer has to be similar to what the mind chooses. But we will speak more about that in the coming times. In the meantime, know that I am your friend. Know that I am your brother, that I am your sister. Know that we are always here for you. And as the eyes of the cosmos are now focused on Earth, so my little cottage that I had in the higher vibrational levels of Venus, I now choose to have here in the higher vibrational regions of Earth. So I will be even more close to you than I was before. And I, together with all of the others, look forward a great deal to the steps that we are about to take together. Welcome home. And so it is.
Teach me the definition of true love.